and welcome back to Off the Roll Podcast by STEK-USA. This is episode number 13, The Unknowns of PPF. And today I have with me two expert sources of information from our global headquarters out of Seoul, Korea. On the right side there is Jeff, and on the left is Gil. Both these gentlemen are business development managers for the company in charge of different regions throughout the world. And we wanted to bring them in to talk a little bit more about the kind of unknowns behind paint protection film, and in particular, the changing space around colored paint protection film. So we're excited to start this conversation. It's been a little while since we've been on the podcast, so we're excited to get back on and bring you guys some more important knowledge. So rolling right in, Jeff and Gil, do you want to give just a short background, how long you've been with the company and the regions that you are overseeing?
So my name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Hi, nice to meet you, everyone. I am in charge of North America and a few other countries, mainly the English-speaking countries. For example, USA, Canada, Australia, kind of oceanic regions, and South African areas. And I've been doing the business development for about 4 years, I would say, and I've been with the company for about 6.
Awesome. And how about yourself?
I'm Gilberto. I'm the Latin face of STEK. Basically, I've been developing the Latin American market. It's been already for 5 years already. I also do some, I would say, random countries because it's like totally different countries than I'm used to work with, such as Israel, India, some other countries and other regions. And yes, it's been 4 or 5 years of developing different countries with different characteristics. That's been very interesting, very good challenges.
Awesome. Well, we're grateful to have both of you on, and thanks for coming into the office a little bit early. For those that aren't familiar, Korea is about 16 hours ahead of us, so it's bright and early in their day for us. We're glad to have you guys on and share that wealth of experience and information. So again, the big topic today is what are the unknowns about paint protection film? And I think one of the most exciting topics to start with is really with colored PPF. Is it more environmentally friendly than your paint? And I know at SEMA a couple years ago, if you guys are following us, we had a couple spiels about that. We introduced our Dyno Shift Green film, and that in particular was going after a very exclusive paint to sample Python green from Porsche. And that in particular was perhaps a lot better for the environment and the world than getting your automotive car painted. And so, Jeff, maybe you can explain why that is, and is paint protection film in general, just any color, actually more environmentally friendly being a plastic than would be to paint a car?
So you have to look at many aspects of the painting process for you to really see how environmentally friendly it is. Now, a car goes through a lot of processes and a lot of heating when it goes through the painting process, from the bare metal all the way to the primers, all the way to the actual paint and clear coats. And it has to go through all these heating vats, right, where it's using a lot of energy. Now, if you want to compare paint protection film versus painting, you can see that painting is actually it's not just more expensive, but at the same time, it actually has a lot of waste after the process of doing, let's say, multiple cars. All that runoff does go into the environment somewhere. Now, with paint protection film, yes, you will have a little bit of that, but if you compare the two, you can probably wrap about, I would say, 60 vehicles versus painting one vehicle. And the carbon emissions emitted is about 60 times more if you paint one vehicle versus doing 60 wraps of paint protection film.
Wow. That's a pretty astounding number. I mean, 60 times more efficient, essentially. And so how do you see this kind of evolving and translating? Do you think color PPF is going to be lucrative even for maybe manufacturers? We know, for instance, the Cybertruck is just starting to get delivered, and that is a pretty bare body. Is PPF going to be a good way for these guys to go? Are there any other companies that you know of that are already doing this or considering it from factory?
So we're actually talking. So I guess I would back it down a little bit or go a little bit back in the past. We have talked to manufacturers in the past, and they've always been interested in seeing how paint protection film can be incorporated in the painting process. Now, this was, I would say, probably 4 years back. We were talking to car manufacturers about this, and they were interested in this. But it just wasn't the right time. They said, look, it won't work. You don't have the installers. You need, because it's not just about putting it through a machine. You actually need someone special to actually put this on, wrap all the edges properly, and do all this work, right? So it's labor intensive. So you need somebody to do that, and we don't have that network for that. Nobody had really that network for that. So that was the biggest, I guess you could say, the biggest crux into trying to get into color paint protection film. But we've always seen it as a trend. So that's why we were always the first ones to try to come up with color. So if everybody kind of remembers, we did come up with black, just nobody really knew about our black when we came up with it. Now, with that being said, going forward, we do see manufacturers going more towards the paint protection film, color changing. For example, you do, like you said, the Cybertruck, it is bare metal. People do want to have a style on their vehicle, so they will want to wrap it in one way or another, whether it is paint protection film or another solution. But we also, I know I've talked to some other industry people, and they are saying that Land Rover and Land Cruiser, they also have a pilot program going on wrapping full vehicles on that at the same time. Other than that, maybe Gilberto, if you
you see also there is also the training, right? Just think about the process of car manufacturing. So you have the cars there for painting, then because they can just remove this part from the manufacturing things. It's a manufacturing process, right? The assembly line, the painting part. So it's also they just say, okay, just leave this for the aftermarket. So there's they can reduce costs. They can make car faster. I think there's also a lot of good points for them to go forward this direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to Jeff's point, that human labor, just that human input required for the film is definitely a big hurdle to try to accomplish. But to your point, Gilberto, is simply think about even just the real estate, how much space they're needing for these big paint rooms or bays or however they're going through this process. I know some are actually, dipped in from the, chassis all the way through. And then there's a curing process and the off-gassing. And so this takes multiple rooms, and to your point, a lot of more emissions, where you can really limit that space with a skilled set of installers. But to your point, that supply demand, if we're trying to manufacture as many cars as quickly as possible, that human input is going to be the bottleneck. So there are still definitely some hurdles to be figured out. But as we've seen the industry grow, exponentially, I imagine those resources, availability of such skilled laborers is also going to be more available to support that.
And also, this is a funny point, right? So there's also the strategic point as well. Just think about, you have a team and you have to think about, which color we're going to make these cars. And they have to research and spend time and money, so you should do this color. Now, they just say, okay, therefore up to the client. They can decide whatever color, whatever, or PPF or vinyl, whatever they want to custom their car. So it's not our problem anymore. Just let them choose.
I think it's more customizable, because even if you see any vehicle right now, you have a selection of, let's say, 4 or 5 paints, maybe 6, depending on the manufacturer, right? But in this, once we start going more and more into these colors, we can produce all these colors, and they're like, oh, I don't want just 4 colors to choose from. I want to choose from 100 colors. You know what I mean? So it's very customizable, and the customer in the end will be more happier about the finish that they're going to get and about what they want, right? Because some colors are like, oh, I don't have a choice, so maybe I'll choose black.
Yeah,
right. And then, but with this way, you could go, oh, I want, I don't know, maybe McLaren orange or something, and they can actually get that color, even though usually it's only exclusive for McLaren.
It's like our friend, he just like, oh, if I want to buy this car, this particular car, if I have a white color, I can get right now. If I want a blue color, but I really want, I have to wait for 2 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was like back then, like 1.5 year ago, Corona time. So.
Yeah. And I appreciate you bringing up vinyl as well, just for our listeners. We've covered this in other episodes, but the main difference is the base material between vinyl and paint protection film. Yeah. You're going to get a lot shorter of a lifespan, less durability that's protecting whatever that surface is, whether it's the bare metal from like the Cybertruck or it is your clear coat original OEM paint. So PPF is the higher quality, longer lasting upgrade or alternative. And so that's definitely our recommendation. If you're investing into a new car, invest into the proper material to enjoy that for the longevity that you'll own the vehicle as well.
But also, there's a little bit of research. It's not that in depth. Just to my knowledge, is when you burn vinyl versus burning, let's say, paint protection film, the chemical that comes off vinyl is more toxic than paint protection film.
Yeah, good point. That goes back to the
that's another
because of
thing.
the raw material.
Yeah, because of the raw
PET.
material that's being burnt off.
the PET versus TPU seen in PPF.
Oh, PVC, right?
Yeah,
We call it a
PVC, not
PET,
PET.
the
Yeah,
PVC.
that would be window tint. Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, I think we can mull on that topic for as long as we want, but I want to kind of shift the conversation to talk about how is STEK's or STEK's paint protection films different than some of the others that we're seeing pop in the market. I know ours are, completely TPU based, and personally the aesthetic quality is phenomenal. But maybe Gilberto, you can speak towards again what is the difference between ours and others on the market.
Well, back then, actually, at the beginning, right? So I remember when we started, and we started with, we can talk about this a little later, but when we started with a Dyno Black, right? So, and I remember in some of the countries I work with, and people use the Dyno or the black piano, the PVC vinyl, right, on the roof of the cars. And people are like, no, why am I going to use this? Why am I going to now pay more expensive? But then, when they actually install the Dyno Black on the roof of the car, it's another word, right? So the reason for that is, it's not just now a color PPF. There is a lot of things inside there. We cannot disclose all of them, but no, we use for the production of our color PPF. We use automotive grade painting. It's such a rich finish, right? I would. When I present the film back then, I said, look, this is not, okay, you can use a black piano, but this one is like a black bureau. Now, you can literally see yourself well now. You don't have orange bureau, which is, now it's a very common in terms of finish, look, right? So the vinyl, all the wrapping, the vinyl wrapping, they have a little bit of this, not a little bit, maybe a lot of this orange peel, and depends on brand, right? The very high quality brands, they have a little bit less, but the general brands, they have quite a lot of this orange peel. So if you really want to have a distinguished, a very rich finish, then you have to go, there is no another way to go through PPF. And because you use this very, automotive grade dye that we buy from, not gonna disclose the name of the supplier, because it's a German supplier. They make painting for manufacturers and stuff. So we get very close to the real painting, the real color, and then we can have very unique colors from that. So and that was then back bringing this up to today, where other companies starting to also adding color on their PPF. So it makes, it set us apart from them, because we spend a little bit more to get a rich finish, to give a high end. We stand it for the Dyno line. The concept is to be a high end product. We have to deliver that.
Yeah, we're making it as high quality as we possibly can. We're challenging, material science to make sure that our films are delivering that paint-like finish, and sometimes that means going to the paint manufacturers so that we can do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome. Very cool, guys. Well, the other difference that I've seen, there are some dry applied paint protection films and some others that I believe are PVC based, or they have components that aren't completely TPU. How do you guys see that affecting the quality in contrast to ours, which I know are completely TPU?
So with regard to contrasting towards, let's say, a mixed material, or I guess you can say a vinyl underlay, you can get dry installation and everything, but you're not going to get it's going to be very difficult to work with, right? It's not just, and workability is, time is money, right? Workability for an installer, they're going to not want to use it if it's harder to work with. But at the same time, if it doesn't have that same protection, it doesn't have the same finish and everything, they're also going to be put off it, because their customers are the ones that are saying, oh, I want it to look like this. And then if there's issues with it, there's defects on everything, that could be a big problem for their customer and in the end for their business, right?
Yeah. And to your point, I think those defects, that it could be material, but just the challenge of install is going to make it more likely or more challenging to get a flawless, install. And then we believe
Exactly.
there's no such thing as a perfect PPF install, but that's just challenging.
What I would like to say is it's good that there's competition and everything, and obviously it makes the market a lot more, I guess, everybody knows a little bit more about what the market's about and how it works and everything. But at the same time, it's what you want. The quality is going to be different between the two, I would say. That's the main thing.
And there's another point too, right? The competition also makes us search for better solutions, search for differentials. We have to do better. We have to bring something different. And that's if you look at it, we are always bring something new. And we want to be pioneers. We want to bring different things, And I tell my partners in Latin America, it's like, oh, you bring this one, so the other ones can start to copy now. We bring something new for them to copy. It's that's a thing.
Yeah, and that's flattering a little bit too. But to your point, healthy competition. To Jeff's point, building that awareness as industry, it is new enough technology that absolutely there's enough space for us all to come in and offer a different value proposition, and it's going to be right for different customers.
Yeah, right, correct. And you can see, we came out with the black 2 years, maybe 3 years about 2-3 years later. Other competition start coming out. I am pretty sure Expel, Suntech, all these guys start coming out with the black. Now everyone's starting to go to colors. Competition's going to colors. They don't really know how to make colors yet. They actually don't know how to make colors yet. So they're just scrambling to try to buy all these manufacturers that do know how to make colors for paint protection film. So you can see it's going to be an industry trend all around the world. Everyone's going to start jumping into it.
Yeah. And as we know, as a manufacturer ourselves, there are just a select handful of manufacturers, which means a lot of these other brands entering the space are potentially private labeled. They're using, proprietary technology that these few still own. But I think this is a really good segue into my next question. And Gil, you alluded to it. How long has STEK been in the space? And were we kind of the original pioneers of this color PPF, or did we see some alternatives that have also been on the market as long as, say, our Dino Black being one of the first colors we introduced?
It's been about 4 years. We started with Dino Black, right? So
yeah, I think it's been about 4 years.
I remember when I started, we already had, but Dino Black was just fresh. Mm-hmm. And people say no, it's not gonna. It's not going to work. This paint protection has to be transparent, and then you see how it is right now. And then you see all the brands bring similar products. But what makes us a little bit ahead is that we been testing our product, being now with our product out there in the market for quite a long time. It gave us a lot of experience and how to make things. And now it's never perfect. We still now have to improve on so many other points and bring new products and new technologies and stuff. But it gave us a lot of expertise. You can see, just say in SEMA, people come to visitors and people come to see visitors and they say okay, what's the new this time?
Yeah, they're expecting something new, right?
Right. What is new from STEK? What's the new trend? And then that's it keeps us always there on the mind of people, being innovative and
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's
It's been exciting to be on this side of things and just know that I'm working for a company that is an innovator in the space. We are oftentimes bringing out the first of whatever that new product is, from Dino Black to even our carbon fiber paint protection films and other technologies. And so that kind of segues to get into one of my next questions, which is there anything you guys can disclose or any plans, anything in the pipeline for 2024 that our listeners can look forward to?
So PPF side, colors will be coming. Dino Glow, we're still working on. That's still a work in progress. We're still trying to get more data, see how long it lasts for, if it needs to be charged. So there's so many questions around the glow side that we've thrown this at our R&D. Our R&D is working to make a product that stretches well, make sure that has all the properties that's needed, right? With the window tint side, so we have a couple new products that we showcased one of them in SEMA, which was our Dino Tint. Now, this is a TPU-based film too at the same time. So it installs just like paint protection film. And the feedback that we got from the installers and people that tried it was just amazing. People were like, this is a game changer. Like, I don't need a window film installer anymore. I could do it myself.
When the guys were installing these things there, they were laughing. So like, what hell? So we had a good night last night. What happened? No, man, this is so cool not to do it.
Yeah. So I think that will be a market changer for the window film industry because no one else has ever done it, and we're the first to do it. We might see people trying to jump into that space for sure. We're continuously working on our DynoFlex product. We are aware everyone has been asking for it. We're still trying to get more testing done and everything. We want to come up with a product that hopefully won't fail again. We've been doing, to be honest, we've been trying to do windshield for over 13, 14 years now. We've had multiple failures over and over again, but we're never going to give up because we know there's a huge market and everybody wants something. So I just want to emphasize that we are still working on that, and it is going to be something that's going to be coming back out in the USA market coming up in the future. We also have another, I guess it's not as spectacular as Dyno Tint, but I would say we have our Tint 360, which is a 4-way shrink tint.
Awesome.
This one will be for sure able to help people with, especially the installers with wastage and everything. You can shrink 4 ways instead of just the traditional 2-way shrinking on Windows. So it still needs to be molded, but it's a lot easier to shrink and it's a lot easier for the installer. Clarity and everything will still be the same as all our high-grade films and everything. That won't change. Same with the IR and everything that we're planning to continue to go forward with.
Awesome.
And now, in addition, we are looking into working with a new type of TPU material just for the marine side. Now, we know paint protection film and marine. We've had some testing going on right now, especially in Australia. But we know that there's a big industry for marine, and we know that there needs to be very specific, especially for under the hull and everything to protect from like those crustaceans and whatnot that's sticking onto the hull. And, that's all time consuming and everything. So right now we do have some Dyno Shield being tested in the Australian market right now. It's been about 18 months, but it's not really used for under the hull. It's used mainly for the top and everything inside. And so far the testing has been really good. People have been, I guess you could say the owner of the boat has said they've saved about 2/3 of cost that they would be using to actually clean the boat. So that's something that you can kind of think about. So we've been going through extensive testing on that. And of course, we're going to have a lot of new upcoming products that we're still working on. I don't really have too much information.
Yeah.
But on the last thing I just want to put is we will have our architectural film and our commercial window films that will be coming out hopefully by the middle of next year.
Brilliant.
So that's just a rundown of everything that's going on right now. But we have so many things in R&D.
Yeah, you guys are just a little bit busy, it sounds like. No, that's great. I appreciate you guys opening up to share that. Hopefully our listeners enjoy those kind of insights. And I think on all fronts, there's really good potential with each of these products. And again, we'll continue to test, research, make sure we're developing and learning from each of our failures or mistakes. And it's not a perfect world, but we have very, very smart engineers on our team helping deliver these innovative products and ultimately delivering this, kind of total solutions package. We have not only your paint protection film, your automotive covered. You guys are thinking about marine, which, I've heard some stories, and to your point, this is a really good space, and there's a lot of potential there. And into the window film, not just for automotive, shrinkless window film, 4-way window film, but also commercial. So ultimately, STEK's coming up to the market, continuing to innovate a variety of products that can give more opportunities for your business, for your customers to have as much enjoyment out of whatever that is, whether their toy is a beautiful car or a boat, or they're proud of their home and they want to save on cooling costs. Sounds like we're going to have kind of a whole package coming out for them.
Yeah, for sure. And we want to have that whole package for all our installers around the world so that they don't have to go around looking for everything. We just want to provide that for their business so that their business can grow. On the last note, just going on the commercial side, we do have some UN projects going on, especially in Myanmar with our commercial films. I just want to bring that up just because that it is a big organization that we were able to win that contract. So we do have a UN project going on in Myanmar with UN, and they really like our films. They say it works very well, installs very well, and they're happy with it. And we have our installers installing those over there on their vehicles and on the buildings.
So the idea we could now replicate the same thing in some other regions where UN has now they require for a contract. Of course, there is a process to do it, right? So
yeah. So on that side, it's not just thinking again about just making films. Yes, we can provide the films, but we want to make your business grow too, right? We want all our installers to be able to flourish and grow their businesses by giving them more opportunities. Right? We can install, we can make the film, you get your guys to install, and then everyone's happy, everyone makes money, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, please go, Berto.
I just want to add also for the car care, right? So we also have to bring in developing a car care solution is special. And the point is we are developing car care solutions for specific for PPF, right? So to work well for PPF, so to give a little more protection, better finish, better maintenance system. So we're coming out with all the things. Plus, maybe I don't know what I'm gonna say about the software. We're coming out with this and the CRM. It's all complex of system of products and to cover all the needs of installer for them to now complete and accomplish their business.
Great.
So when he talked about the CRM, I'll just go a little bit into it. It's more of a sales tools for them so that they can increase their business and increase people coming into.
Yeah, great guys. Well, we appreciate you working as hard and do it diligently as you guys do. Obviously, there's a lot of testing. There's a lot of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But as we approach kind of this whole market view of we understand how the business operates, we want to give you guys the tools and ladies the tools to succeed as easily as possible. So whether you're a car owner or a fellow installer, there is going to be a lot more to look forward to from STEK. I look forward to seeing some of those colors that we come out with this year, and I want to thank you guys again for taking the time to sit on the podcast here today.
Yeah, no problem, Michael. On an end note, I just want to say that we appreciate all our viewers and all your viewers, I guess we should say, and all our installers and everybody that's helped us grow. We do listen to what you guys need, so do give us feedback, as much feedback as you can, and we will take this feedback and put it into our R&D to try to make something special for you guys.
That's correct. This is very core of STEK. Since I started with this a lot, we worked a lot with installers. This is very important because they are the ones who actually need and they have the real knowledge of the market, and we just try to deliver them the tools they need to grow their business to accomplish their purpose. So anyway, thanks for having us. Well, my first podcast, I think.
This is my first podcast too.
We work videos around here, but podcast is our first podcast. So
fun.
Next time we will be there.
Yeah.
Maybe in a year or so we can do another one and we'll update everybody again after a year.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Well, you guys did great. I want to thank you for jumping on this podcast. Any of our listeners, viewers, let us know what you thought in the comments below. Share this with your friends if you enjoyed it. And otherwise, we'll catch you next time. Thanks again so much.
And I'm going to say, remember to subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget that.
Click the button,
Click the button.
And follow us.
We'll catch you guys. All right. Thanks again.
Have a good day.
You too.